I think they need to improve the quality of their vehicles. I feel that GM has reliability has sunken back to the 1980s, where they did lose a large part of the consumers to the Japanese automakers because of reliability. I think General Motors is increasingly electrical technology, as are other companies, but they're not keeping pace with their dealers having trained master mechanics who are willing to troubleshoot an electrical problem. My name is Deb Zigmund, and I bought a 2016 Buick Regal Tour. The main reason was my mother was in her late 90s and needed a transport chair to be taken with her to appointments, and she could not get into an SUV. I bought the Buick Regal Tour, and immediately there were problems with the air conditioner. The dealer had to replace the air conditioner compressor when it only had a few hundred miles. The, the situation with the vehicle did subside, and I was able to travel to Indiana for the funeral when my mother passed. However, I had problems medically from a complication from my breast cancer surgery where my trapezius muscle was detached from my clavicle. It took years to diagnose, and I could not use the vehicle a lot. The vehicle did not have many miles on it at any point in time. And in September of last year, I had to have my arm in this position in an adductor cast for weeks after surgery at Mass General in Boston. During that time, some people did start the vehicle and run it for me, but it was apparent that it needed a new battery in the fall of 2021. That was replaced. Then there was a problem again, which seems to be a battery that happened in March. It was a backup battery that had to be taken to the dealer, and they did replace that battery, but they also said there was a problem in the AC adductor panel, and that was replaced. I think that's when the problems escalated, because after that repair, where they entered the dash, the vehicle was never the same. The vehicle would not hold a charge. I had to have the battery replaced again. Firestone did that at their cost, saying perhaps the cell was defective, and this was a heavy-duty battery. Then the problem persisted to the point that it did go back to the dealer ultimately when Firestone thought the alternator needed to be replaced. That was replaced, and also the dealer said the AC compressor had to be replaced again. So the car at 8,100 miles had another AC compressor placed. So at 8,100 miles, we had two AC compressors. We have an AC adductor panel. We have two new heavy-duty batteries. We have a backup battery replaced, and the problem kept getting worse. The AAA was called a total of 5 times, to the point that the neighbors luckily used some of their AAA calls to help me. The car was taken back to the dealer in June, and all the dealer did was kept it there and started it each day. And of course, when it was taken there, the car had been driven after AAA started it. And if you started the vehicle each day and idled it for however long they did, probably 20 minutes by the amount of gas it was used, of course it would start the next day. There was no electrical check other than them saying it started each day. I did receive the vehicle back, and the next week, on Monday, I drove it to different mechanics locally. One mechanic stated that I should take the car to an electrical shop because it sounded like there was a battery parasite. Some circuit was being left open. And that's what we had said all along. The latter was done at Lone Star Electric, who meticulously checked and found 2 intermittent battery drains. They then determined that there was a damaged wire in the dash close to where the AC adductor panel had been replaced. The wire was fixed. Then the main computer module tested abnormal. Then that was changed out. They had to check each step of the way to see if the problem persisted. The total bill for that service was $1,261. $467 were for the computer module. The rest was labor. I had an extended warranty, which would not cover because it was supposed to be covered by the bumper-to-bumper GM warranty. GM have resolved themselves against any cost of the repair, saying that the dealers are independently owned and operated. I tried to work with the dealer to diagnose the problem 3 different occasions. They failed to diagnose the problem, and in June they didn't even bother to give me an invoice. So I technically don't have proof it was there other than the shuttle ride to and from. I did take it to a local auto electric shop that was recommended by a local mechanic who stated I had to have a battery parasite. The local auto electric shop did extensive testing, and the problems were they found 2 parasitic drains that were intermittent, and they had to troubleshoot multiple times to see exactly what was causing it. They did trace it to a damaged wire. I am not convinced that that did not happen from the dealer in March. The dealer persisted in not listening to anything that I had said about the battery not holding a charge, even to the point that I stated in my typed note left with the dealer in June that a AAA responder who came to the house each and every occasion in the spring of 2022 stated there was an electrical problem. After the repair, I did go in person to the dealer and showed the invoice, especially in regards to the damaged wire. The dealer stated that they were not at all liable and that I could check with the extended warranty company. It is written in the extended warranty company that if the vehicle is covered by bumper, they would not cover. And that is written in the policy, and Lone Star Electric and myself checked with the company several times, and that was the final call. I then faxed the information to the owner of the dealer, and that went, and no one responded. I also filed a Better Business Bureau complaint about the local dealer, and that was unresponded to. I also emailed and sent a letter to corporate GM, who did call me back and stated that the dealers are locally owned and operated and that they were not responsible. I stated to them that I felt that the car was not manufactured correctly or this wire was damaged under a factory authorized job, and that my car had to have 2 AC compressors, an ejector panel, an alternator, 2 new batteries, and also the backup battery replaced at 8,100 miles or less. GM states that it should have been covered by the bumper-to-bumper warranty, and they are not liable for any workmanship with the dealer. I did point out that they do not reimburse their dealers probably for such a long time-intensive job, and I questioned if the dealerships even had the type of master mechanics with that special electrical certification to troubleshoot one of these jobs. GM absolved themselves of all liability and any question of workmanship. I also told GM that I do not understand how they can produce these new electric vehicles if they do not have the staff at their dealers to even work on an electrical problem that is not in a, quote, totally electric vehicle. Obviously, they did not care about my concerns. They did not care what the AAA person felt that the problem was. They did not care about the quality of their manufacturing or the quality of their authorized service center, which I really feel largely contributed to my problem. And now nothing's going to happen. I mean, they're going to continue to do these types of non-jobs to their customers. They're going to continue to probably damage people's dash wires and cause the main computer module to short out. So obviously, their job isn't job one. Their job is to just produce higher price vehicles when they don't have the current technology to repair current, quote, non-totally electric vehicles. And it is sad that we have come to the point that you pay with extended warranty and tax close to $39,000 for a vehicle in 2018, And I had all these problems when it only had 8,100 miles. 2 AC compressors, 1 inductor panel, 3 batteries, a new alternator, and still every repair just made the problem worse. Obviously, they were missing or they caused a problem in the dash when they were doing these repairs. Yes, I was asking how I'd like my issue to be solved. I've made it abundantly clear to General Motors Corporation that they should reimburse me for the $1,261 as the vehicle was still under a bumper-to-bumper warranty, as I did the local dealer. So that's what I ask, and obviously that is not ever going to happen. Nor will I think they receive additional training. I think they prefer just to go on with business as usual and again, not listen to consumers who had a complaint, who had valid documentation from other individuals that there was a problem. I feel that the GM corporate headquarters needs to have more control over these dealerships that are now independently owned and operated. I don't know how GM's going to handle this massive recall of their defective seatbelts when they can't even listen to a customer complain about a vehicle not holding a charge. All they want to do is to put their automobiles on the tester, and if it doesn't come up at that split second, you don't have a problem. So obviously, they need to do intensive training and intensive customer service training. The owner of the dealership never returned my calls. I also fax never returned, has not responded to a Better Business Bureau complaint. So obviously, you cannot stay in business if you conduct your services like that.